welcome back to the channel. Following on from the last episode where we got everything cleaned. So all the interior parts that are going to go back have now been cleaned, all the surfaces have been done. We're going to start reassembly of the front cylinder. So cam chain's got to go in, it'll be new cam chain. Then we can put the rotor back on. Clamp that, get that bolted down, get it torqued up. I need to check the torque settings in the manual for the actual rotor bolt. And then we can start rebuilding and putting in the front cylinder. It's been quite an exciting journey, this one. It's, as I say, it was unexpected that obviously, well, what happened to it really, but it's been an interesting ride and an interesting journey into this engine to actually have a look and find out how it's put together and what goes where. As I say, it has been a bit of a nightmare where you have to take off one thing to get to the bit you want to. But as I say, it's been fun. I hope it's given people an insight into the VTR/Varadero XL1000 Varadero engine. I say these are the engines that are out of VTR 1000s. Exactly the same setup. So how the cam chains will work, as you've seen, obviously from the clutch side one goes to the back, from the generator side one goes to the front. In a second I'm going to spin the bike round, get some light in there, and then we'll start putting it back together. Right, so first thing I want to check before I start putting anything back together, I've just put the main bolt back in. I just want to rotate to make sure there are no problems with the crank. Yep, everything's turning normally, no noises, which is good. So as I say, I just put the bolt back in just so I can turn it round. Right, obviously, as I said, I mentioned in the previous video, making sure this, see in there, woodruff key is still in place, which it is. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is feed through the new cam chain. She may feed it through. Right, so I'm actually feeding it through from this end. I don't know if that'll work, it probably won't. Yep. Right, so that is actually on that sprocket. And I'll just hang it loose there for now. Yeah, a lot easier to install. And then obviously that will sit, that guide will sit further up. Right, so the next thing is the rotor. Right, so on the rotor, as you can see, there's a gap goes all the way through, and that's for the woodruff key to fit on. Yep. Right, so I've just put the bolt in as tight as I can get it at the moment, because obviously every time I rotate it's turning. So I'm going to have to drop the stand down. And I can put it in gear and apply the brake. Right, just had a thought. I was just about to lower it to the ground, and then it's like, actually that's not going to work because it's obviously not connected to anything, so it's not going to stop it from moving. I checked the manual, it's 157 Newton meters on the torque setting for that bolt, which we can do when it comes down. So what I've done, I've moved the timing mark round to FT, which is just there, and the front piston is at top dead centre. So if anybody's got the manual, it's under section 9, which is electrical, and it's the bottom one there, alternator rotor bolt, 157 Newton meters. So we're going to go in and actually start getting this cylinder head back in. So all I need to do is just quickly, so these should be all loose. So that is ready to go back in. I just need to tighten up the bolts for the water inlet and grab a gasket. Right, I've tried to get the best lighting I can in here. It's actually quite dark at the moment. It's dark outside, so. Right, I've dug out the gasket. That is the correct way round it goes. So you've got that groove there. That side goes face down. There's two dowels already in the head. Right, so see if I can feed this through. That is now sitting on them two dowels. Right, so the next job is start getting the bolts back in place. So as you remember, I carded all of them. So literally these two fit down in there, then three, then three. Right, I don't know if you can see them, I just put one there and one there. I've just put them in and turned them probably a couple of turns just so they're starting to bite. So I'm now going to go in from the other side so I don't block everybody's view, and then start putting in the main cylinder bolts, and then we'll have a look at torque settings. the other one. There's the top one. These are all 14mm. Right, so that's all 6 main bolts, just loosely in, and the 2 end bolts. Now let's check torques. Right, so all the bolts were put in finger tight, and all the manual says is a crisscross pattern. And then I'll get the torque wrench out, and it's 53 Newton meters. Right, so the torque setting for these is 53. I'm actually going to start off with 35. Just do it gradually. Again, in a crisscross pattern. Right, now I'm going to go to 53. Right, so it's all 6, 2 here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, all done to 53 Newton meters of torque. It isn't giving me a torque setting for these bolts. I don't want to risk snapping them. Right, so that's the front cylinder head torque down. I'm just going to slide the generator cover back on and just double check the timing mark. I just want to make sure that timing mark is in line with the hole on the generator cover. As you can see in there, it's a bit difficult to get the light in, but it is exactly on the mark. So now I can put the camshafts in, and it's aligned with FE along this casing and FI along the back casing.